Recently, I've heard of episodes of people being, so-and-so has been arrested. Arrested, they are very good. 6 months, this person has not been brought to court. Ah. So-and-so has disappeared. Like now, recently, yesterday, today, somebody called me from Marara and said a gentleman called Wangomani, Amos Wangomani. He built big cadre, well, these middle cadres who fights from 70 to 8. He's been arrested. Amos Wangomani from Marara, just a simple businessman. He was arrested, he's disappeared for 3 weeks. His family went to court. First time he was not produced. Second time he was not produced. Yesterday they went to court. You know what the authorities told us, including Kiryowa Kiwanuka, vicarious liability. They said, we don't know where the money is. Oh. Wait a minute. When people of my size, height, and weight disappear without trace, that's it. How can a man big as I am disappear without trace? Because this fellow called me in the morning and said, if he's been killed, at least give us the money tomorrow. Colleague, the Honorable Attorney General, Kiryowa Kiwanuka, you know the cabinet, I sit behind you. And I like this. Sometimes when we are talking, there are things I don't understand. And I get bored and start calling him and telling him things he doesn't want to hear. Mama, from Juba and family, President of the Uganda Law Society, Lord Mayor, Mzee for what you are worth. Ladies and gentlemen, if I had known I was going to talk to the radical new bar, I would not have come. Because I don't like fighting wars I'm not prepared for. What is this radical new bar? Is it to the right or to the left? If the radical new bar is meant for internal struggle, I won't identify with it. If it is meant for external struggle and therefore struggle for mankind, I will remember. Because if it is for internal struggle, me and the Attorney General should not be here. Because for your law society to call themselves radical is an indictment on our performance. Why should our law society radicalize to struggle against government? For a person like me who's transited from colonialism, those of you what I'm talking about, maybe particularly those. I've seen colonialism, I've seen Obote 1, I worked under Idi Amin, I was in the bush during Obote 2, I saw the brief transition of this fracas of UNRM, and then the 40 years of NRM. And at the crowning of the 40 years of our tenure, when our past biological past is fast catching up with us, whether we want or don't, we shall go. My question is, what are we leaving behind? What are you leaving behind when your own law society is talking of radicalizing in order to fight you, and to fight you without your input and guidance? That's a question most of us should ask ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, apart from Mosaic Jekir and a few other young men I was sitting with there, including my friend, this FDC MP. What you know, we know. What we know, you don't. And it's not our fault that we were born before you. And we have the misfortune of going through this. When your own successors radicalize and they are radicalizing against you, it means things have been going on. It means things have been going on. And I'm glad the purpose of this world are doing it now when we are not yet reached the principles. There are few disconcerting events that have taken place in this country, and I don't want to continue as minister responsible for internal affairs. I've made myself loud and clear that certain things that are happening are unacceptable, because I was here during a ministry. You know, I'll recount the dictum of this preacher in Germany during the Second World War. I forget his name. Anyway, God save his soul if at all he has any. He said, I kept silent because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the gays. I kept quiet because I was not gay. Then they came for the trade unions. I kept silent because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews. I kept silent because I was not a Jew. When they came for me, there was nobody left to speak on my behalf. Ladies and gentlemen, don't commit the sin of silence. And those of us who are in authority must learn to hear. In Kiswahili they say, asiolewa na wazazi asikujishwa na dunia. If you don't learn from your parents, you'll be taught by the world. Those of us in authority, if we don't know how to exercise authority judiciously and with caution and compassion, we shall be taught by the world, by the society we are leading. We lead where some people want to go. I don't ascribe to that. We lead with the consent of the governed. Sometimes the governed are wrong. When the governed are wrong, it's the duty of the leaders to patiently explain to the governed where they have gone wrong. But more often than not, the governed are right. Those who are governed, when you see them crying, when you see them jumping up and down, don't suppress them. Keep them in order, but feel their pain. Mama Jua has said it properly. She said, for us, we cried. They cried because there was pain they were unable to express. Until the headmistress felt compassion for why these girls were crying and said, what is going on? And I'm sure the situation was improved. Recently, I've heard of episodes of people being, so-and-so has been arrested. Arrested, they are very good. 6 months, this person has not been brought to court. So-and-so has disappeared. Like now, yesterday, today, somebody called me from Marara and said a gentleman called Wangomani, Amos Wangomani. A very big cadre, well, these middle cadres who fights from 70 to the name. He's been arrested. Amos Wangomani from Marara, just a simple businessman. He was arrested, he's disappeared for 3 weeks. His family went to court. First time he was not produced. Second time it was not produced. Yesterday they went to court. You know what the authorities told us, including Kiryowa Kiwanuka, vicarious liability. They said, we don't know where the money is. Wow. Wait a minute. When people of my size, height, and weight disappear without trace, that's a problem. How can a man big as I am disappear without trace? Because this fellow called me in the morning and said, if he's been killed, at least give us the body tomorrow. Listen. Families are now beginning to call on us to give them bodies tomorrow. We who fought it again for the very reason. Excuse me. While at Kiwanuka, they were crossing the Rubicon. Yes, and those of us who took up arms to fight against this don't think that others like us in our age with the enthusiasm to fight us. Have it upon us that if this goes on, we are going to be fought, and I'm too old, too old to change, and too tired to care. You still have 50 years to go. 50 or so? Yeah. Me, at the best, God willing, maybe 10 or 15. Maybe 10 or 15. I beg you, when you create all this trouble, and you end up messing me up, please, I'm going to dig a grave. Just roll me in and cover it. But that should not happen to us. All and sundry should learn to listen to the government. These people, you know, the late Pecos of Tessa came to Parliament and we were voting. So he also put up his hand. And then the colleagues said, but what are you voting for? You just came in, you're voting. And then the person told you, all of these who have put up their hands can't be stupid. Whatever they are voting for must have sense. If it doesn't have sense, then I'm going to be party of the majority as opposed to the minority. Now, when one cries, it's an accident, an incident. When two people cry, it's a coincidence. When three people start crying, it's an action. There must be a reason for us to put our ears onto the ground and reverse the cause of this. I can see the Lord Mayor clapping. I don't know everything you said here is wrong. But you have a right to be wrong. Yes, you may be wrong, but you have a right to be wrong. And it's our duty as the ones in charge to show you are wrong and put you on the right path. And if you don't get on the right path and you clash with the law, then the law, which is supposed to be blind, will take charge of you. My job is to arrest Kiryowa Kiwanuka, take him to an official hangman, and the official hangman is there, justice attained, the God attained. And the hangman will decide whether you hang or you don't. Why should I soil my hands hanging you and taking the blame when there is a hangman paid for it? A man who is hired to hang you and is paid for doing it. My job is to ensure that we follow the law. In my enthusiasm, I may make mistakes. I could commit errors. That's why we go to the judicial. That's why we call all these people here land gentlemen. I have 5 of them in my house. I have 5 lawyers, my children. And unfortunately, they follow a lady who is a doctor. Now when they are having legal arguments, my daughter comes to me and says, Daddy, I think I have here 5 psychiatric patients. I think I have here 5 potential psychiatric patients. I say, why? I said, how can you have 5 opinions and you all claim they are right? One of you has to be right and the other has to be wrong. Let's give it to the lawyers to go to court, argue their case. When we are lucky, we win. When we are lucky, we lose. And when we lose, we appeal. That's what the craft and art of government is. That's why there is this tradition of separation of powers. You are the executive, you have power. But your power is not in absolute. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And there is nobody who can claim they are right when they are corrupted. Morally or physically. Power corrupts. That's why we must be very judicious and compassionate in the exercise of power. Let's not have other matters like we do. You are talking with Kassim Oburamia was in the Ministry Foreign Service. And I was in Africa Department. And Amir was very, very, very mesmerized about the African Department. Unfortunately for me, I was in charge of liberation movements. So I used to interact with Amir on a regular basis. One day, he called us to this house they used to call Cape Town Villas. And I was a junior officer for Foreign Service Officer 6. And we are going to meet him on Saturday. This gentleman, whenever we went there, he would entertain us. And he would give us booze. Now, Foreign Service Officer, by your own pay, whenever he brought beer, the directors would be talking for us. We were at the drinking. Ironically, we started drinking at around 11. By 2, all of us would be speaking together with the president who was drinking juice. We were told would be at the bar. We were drinking juice. For us, we were drinking beer. But at around lunchtime, we are all very, 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 very. Now, on this occasion, they brought a gentleman from West Nile. And you could see by his code of dressing that the clothes he was wearing had been picked from the shop that morning. He was in a suit and a shirt. Shirt was an iron and a tie. So we invited him for lunch and told him, oh no, I know your problem. You had issues and it's Fitina West Nile. Fitina what West Nile? They hate you. They says, now I'm releasing you, go back to West Nile, go and do your work. And if anybody tries to disturb you, get in touch with me. Then he said, called Jonathan, the coach who was PPS, said, give this man 20,000 shillings. 20,000 shillings at that time was equivalent to about 200 million. It was a lot of money. Because my first car, which was a Peugeot 504, I bought at 16,000 shillings. 16,000 I would buy a car. Now it can't buy beer. So he gave this man 20,000 shillings. Now when we finished the lunch, for us who were a bit tipsy, he gave it, as this man was going out, he gave instruction to one of his bodyguards called Adam BCG. The instruction was in Kinubi. We never understood Kinubi. But the Ambassador Kawesa, who was sitting next to me, said, Banango, we are waiting. The instruction, the model instruction showed, kill him. Then the Ambassador Kawesa said, Banango, we are waiting. Are you sure we didn't get sober? We all sobered up. And true to what Kawesa had predicted, this man's body was discovered on Monday morning in the hedges of Cape Town Villas. Get back on track.
You're overspeaking.
Because when we fight in a civil war, there are no winners, there are no losers. We all get bruised. The winners have bruises, the losers have bruises. But when you bruise your brethren, it's your duty to take the responsibility. Whether we hurt you or don't, it's our job to repair you. And whether you hurt us or don't, it's your job to rehabilitate us. So, why do we have to get to that stage when we can stop it before it happens? Disagreement is not the problem. Making mistakes is not the problem. The problem is when you can't repair the damage you have, or to prevent the damage you are about to do. In my military training, they told me, my instructors told me, the greatest generals are those who win wars without shooting a bullet. Those who win wars without shooting a bullet. Talk of bullets. You see wars in the world. Have you ever heard of the phenomenon of the military-industrial complex? The phenomenon of the military-industrial complex. Weapons are commodities. And they are made in factories. And those commodities have to be consumed. When they are not consumed, the factory is closed down and people get unemployed. So how do you consume weapons? How do you consume weapons? You create wars. They create wars, we buy their weapons, we kill each other, their industries go on, here we go back to begging. Do we manufacture BM in Uganda? No, but we deploy it. Do we make tanks? No. I'm told Nigeria is trying to make some in the world. But we deploy them. Do we make aircrafts? No, we deploy them. So does Rwanda, so does Congo, so does Burundi. And we are consuming all of these warcrafts from people who make them. And we pay for that equipment. Kiryowa, are we paying an incidents for weapons import killers? I mean, went and bought weapons using them against us. And we, the survivors, are paying. So when whatever you use against us, or whatever we use against you, when we win, we shall pay. When you win, you will pay. So, the medicine is, let's not fight. Yeah, let's not fight. Let's tell us how to get back on track. Yeah. Tell us how to get back on track. Kiryowa and I, we should also listen to them. That's the best way we shall get back on track. And then we shall not all prosper. Then you don't have reason to bury me when you kill me when I can't fight anymore. I'm not going to fight with a gun now, but I still have my head. You know, one day, the late Pepos met General Kashaka, and in their discussion, Kashaka told General Pepos that 2 heads are better than one. Then Pepos said, yeah, 2 heads are better than one, except when the second one is yours. So let's put our 2 heads. Let's put our 2 heads. Tell us where we're going wrong. Let's also feel. In Kiswahili, you say kuhithi. Let's feel our pain. Let's get to understand each other. Let's not get excited. Like Moop says, for us we are not going to be part of the this iPod. But if we are not part of iPod, how shall we know when you are hungry? But I'm suffering from hunger. The man in the kitchen does not know you are hungry. How does he feed you? What you do is come to iPod, grab this Beredo and say, don't serve this one, don't forgive me. When you've given me soup without bread, I say, I just want bread. How come you are giving meat and chicken. Say, treat us fairly. But if you're outside, nobody will listen to you. And this goes for all episodes in political struggle, including the struggle of Besigye. That Besigye should be tried in a court, condemned or absorbed, is a right. It's a right. So when you Department falls under you. DPP is under Chua. Honestly, keeping a man in jail for 8 months. And you say he's guilty. You not told us what it is. Tell us. Yes, I know he could be guilty as hell. But for as long as we don't know what he has done or not done, for us, as a real man, in the court of public opinion, he's innocent. In the court of public opinion, he's innocent until you present him before us and you tell us what he has done. And all the others, no citizen should be incarcerated without fair trial. I'll tell you this, but they did me, they like it. That's up to me. As far as I'm concerned, nothing lost, nothing gained, bye-bye.